Ah,
Ah,
I
I feel like I was about to get into it.
I
Yeah.
know. Very
Does
chill.
it?
Well, you'll find out at the end of this Hat Chat
Oh,
episode. Episode
jeez.
87, in fact, with your hosts, Chris Trott.
Ross Hornby.
And Alex Smith, hello. It's my
Hello.
voice.
It's not quite a whole week because we recorded this a day early because of reasons. I'm away tomorrow, and that's our usual day. But we set a task. I set a task for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just eagerly anticipating whether I crumbled social media wise.
Right, okay.
None of you give a shit because I wasn't on social media and you forgot I existed. So, I stayed off it.
But you didn't know.
What do you mean?
You posted 3 stories on your Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I had commitments.
I mean, you had commitments, but you still used it.
I felt like you were
It's hard.
very
It's hard not
eager
to.
to then.
I know I was. I knew you were going to say you
so
didn't use it, but you don't use it normally, and so it was actually, if anything, you used it more than you previously do. I didn't see you post often.
Yeah,
I
well,
just found that. Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that, true, but I didn't doom scroll, which is the important
No,
thing.
okay.
Like the mental health deteriorating, endless scroll of looking at negative stuff and consuming shit and then coming away from it in a dazed mess of like, what did I just do with that half an hour of my time? I didn't do that. But yeah, I did. I had contractual obligations to post things on my social media because that's my job. And yes, I fulfilled those things. So technically, I did break it by posting on Instagram. Thank you, Ross.
But obviously, I didn't go along with it because I saw your post. Hence, why I
You saw it.
I used social media that week. So yeah.
How did it feel?
No, it was all right. Yeah, I tried to use it less. And to be fair, I did use it less. But we also, oh look, fucking hell. It's freezing on the cameras. If you watch this on a Hat Chat podcast,
You get some amazing
on YouTube,
stills.
you get to see some amazing stills of our faces, or my face mainly, freezing in the most awkward way possible. But yeah, no, I did use it, and we posted a couple of videos, which isn't really the same as what you're describing as doom scrolling, which obviously is, not the best. I still kind of wake up and I actually open up the news app first before I do anything, which I don't know if that's worse because it's still kind of
I feel like it is
doom scrolling.
just as bad because it's like a filtered,
I'm looking
no, this
for
is
something
real
that's
and it's happening and it's bad. Good luck with that. So yeah, a lot of Ukraine, Russia news was the thing that was occupying my week instead of people's really shit days or negative drama on social media. Instead, it's like there could be a world war. So
So will they, won't they? Situation. Oh, they're saying they're leaving, but
they had a video of them leaving, but
so more
troops got deployed secretly. Well, I don't want to even assume I know anything about the details of it. But
now people are doom listening, so let's move on. What about you, Smith? Did you manage to avoid it? Obviously, you said just before we went live.
Yeah, I did.
You avoided it. Nice.
How did that feel?
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, I agree. I think what you said, Ross, about you opening the news app when you first wake up. I usually do that with Twitter because initially I started using Twitter as a way to get news from various news sites on a feed, right? And it's just turned into something else completely now because they've changed the way the app works in order to show you the things that you engage with more often. And it turns out we quite often engage with things that make us unhappy.
You can change it to times, as in like.
But that's only how they display. They still give recommendations when you use chronological ordering. Right. They still give you and serve you information. It's just it's in time order, but they're still choosing what to show you based on recommendation algorithms. Yeah. Anyway, I stopped doing that every morning, which was good. I found in the moments that I broke my cycle of, in my moments of downtime when I've not got something to do, just opening and looking at my phone and scrolling through crap, like you say, like doom scrolling. I've stopped that for the week, which I think again has been positive because it's almost like CBT. It's almost like it's breaking habits that have no real benefit to me. But I've done them because it's something to do, as they say, or like it's that little like micro buzz you get each time you see something. Yeah, exactly. So no, I've really enjoyed it. I think it is. What did I do? So the one time today, so the poll, I wanted to ask my Twitter followers which like campaign race I should play in the new Warhammer game. I was like, well, these look quite cool. I wonder what everyone's thinking. I want to use like the hive mind to get like an aggregate of, because usually they'll say stuff like, oh, this race is a bit meh, or yeah, you can play this one, but it'll change the way the game works. It'll give me insights, and that's quite useful. But that's really one of the only times I've thought, man, because I've still been opening YouTube. I've still been using YouTube. I guess social media it depends how you quantify it, but
broad, isn't it? But like, I think using Twitter less. I guess Reddit is a big one. But
I had like a 5-minute time limit on all of those apps. So if I needed to open it for any particular reason that was, like I wasn't doing any doom scrolling at all. I didn't want to open it for like recreational reasons. But for example, say I needed to talk to Pyrion on Twitter, instant messaging, because he's on some armor thing with me at the weekend. I was like, that was one time I used it for the 5-minute window. But I think it's good. It is challenging. It does give you challenges, especially if you've got a job a bit like ours, or if you're trying to organize something that you'd usually use those websites for. Definitely. But I do think it's not really that difficult. I'm surprised how quickly that time is gone where I haven't been using Twitter and Reddit and Instagram. I don't think I use that much though. Like I usually spend on my screen time, I'm usually between 1 and 2 hours on social media each day, so I don't think that is particularly high. I mean, obviously it's a lot of time that I want back, but I mean, social media is a lot of interaction tools, isn't it? So
I think it's changed a lot since we've been doing a lot more like on the channel and stuff.
So
like we've just been busier. Time to look at it. So obviously the last couple of years when we're just in your homes, you just end up looking at your phone more.
It keeps you in bed as well, like in the morning.
Yeah, it does. It does, exactly. I found a couple of times that I've gone just to do the next thing I was planning on doing sooner than that. That's something I definitely noticed, where I'm just like, well, I'm not going to fucking scroll through Twitter, so what was the next thing I needed to do? Like that. I think that's a good thing.
I think you naturally put blockades in the way of like effort. And I think social media is that easy access. Like, I want to feel like dopamine right now, so I'll open this. I'll wait a minute before I get up. I'll just look through this first, because that makes me feel good. And then I'll get up. And then half an hour later, you're like, I feel like shit. I should really get up now. And then you start your day like that. That's been a big positive for me. It's just like, my God, though, I've got like 11 years of instinct, like thumb muscle memory.
Exactly. You're having to break behaviors is why it's important, because you don't naturally break behaviors until you try to, because they're your behavior, right? Like, and so it's interesting to have that break, because your brain starts to like learn those habits, doesn't it? Like if you keep and that's how your brain starts to function. So like, as in there are these like rapid peaks and troughs of attention, essentially, right? Or like rapid peaks and troughs of like micro pleasure from scrolling or whatever, versus a more sort of stable, like, say you're doing something that takes a bit of time that gives you satisfaction. That's a longer release, and it creates, I think, just probably a more sort of even mind, even, like, I don't know.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, you'd hope so. I don't know. I feel better for it.
You mentioned last week about Reddit being inactive. People have actually been posting a lot more. Obviously, you haven't been using it.
Good time for it.
But yeah, like people actually have been using it more, which is really appreciated. So thanks for getting involved in that aspect, especially with like Shlogs coming out and the Dead Nuts stuff recently. So thanks for getting involved.
And the Dead Nuts, if you don't know what that is a band that we have formed back in 2018, I guess, technically.
I guess so, yeah. One of the Jingle Jams, right?
With the Jingle Jam charity streams of the year, we do a music stream, and we decided let's make it a funny band. And then we decided to make that a thing one year and try and make an album in that form. That kind of went well. And then we did a YogCon gig where we kind of put all that together. And that went very well. And we're like, let's just capitalize on this and do a tour, because that would be fun. And then COVID happened, and it got delayed twice. and it's still happening. It's happening this March. So if you are interested in getting it, a ticket for it, it's in Bristol, Birmingham, Manchester, and London. Tickets are still available. Just search for DEDNUTZ. That's how you spell Dead Nuts tour, and then the relevant place. And I assume Google will do the rest. To get you to the right place. But yeah,
if people want a taste of what that's like, we've been doing some streams on our Twitch channel as well. So you can check some of those VODs out as well of us rehearsing. So yeah.
Well, we're actually fillers because Dead Nuts are a very professional rock band, and we're just the studio musicians using their instruments right now to warm those instruments up.
Got to keep them in service.
Yeah, got to keep them in service. So it should be fun. I've had fun doing the practices actually, and we're not as rusty as we thought we were.
A bit more fluid now, which is good.
Getting there.
And we've got 21 tracks.
21 tracks.
Which feels like quite a lot. It sounds like a lot, although some of them are short. Some of them are really long.
Some could be endless.
Some are endless. Yeah, some just couldn't keep going. But
it's gonna be part performing music as a band that isn't necessarily musicians. Part stand-up improv comedy. That's how I see it.
Sure, yeah. It's just a chance to see us fuck about with instruments, which is always fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
although I think on Wikipedia, is it Wikipedia that says we're a band?
Remember when we did that theatre thing, the Wine or Cheese Live?
Oh my god, yeah.
And everyone was just like, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, I think it was very rushed though, wasn't it? It was like very much just like we didn't have long to plan it, and it's something I wouldn't watch back.
They wanted myself. You can't. I can't.
I don't want to.
I haven't found it anywhere, but like
it's on our channel.
It's on our channel.
On our channel.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I haven't watched it in years.
But it's quite funny. It's like obviously like if you don't have any expectations, it's funny because it's dumb and kind of
stupid
dumb costumes. I'm wearing like these weird Shakespearean pants, pantaloons, or whatever they are.
The lighting guys had no idea. Like on the day, we would like. It could go anywhere, and maybe we want some green lights for this bit, but just play with it, honestly. So it was like an improv theatre piece where I'm guided, Smith's the narrator, and I was guided through an adventure, and Ross was like all the things that I'll come up against, basically. Yeah. And the audience get to decide which way to go, which is our wine or cheese thing, is like which way do you start?
Very
I imagine for the audience there, it was quite entertaining, but like as a filmed experience, probably not.
Yeah.
Did anyone else do a show?
No. I mean, and they basically marketed it around that. Yeah, that's where it came from. They're like, we need something to sell tickets to. But like I'm just watching some clips of it. The bit at the end where like everyone's in like black costumes and they've got these like rubber animal hats on and it's swaying and getting all weird.
It's a shroom nightmare. That's what it is. It's horrible in some instances, but weird, funny little thing we did once. That was in 2016, 17? I don't know what year that was.
2016.
2016. Okay, there you go. So
Mr. Sam was one of the freaky animals as well.
He was.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
And Harry, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Harry.
Harry boy. Yeah.
Old video. So good luck with that.
Yeah. Classic.
But yeah. Anyway, going back. I was off social media. I don't know if you talked about that. But the first few days, I think Smith had the same thing. You just go through your phone looking for other apps that could pique your interest. And I came across a really old app I have, which was my diary one, which I started when I first got an iPhone. And that app has stayed online somehow this whole time. And I looked at it.
Did you fill it out?
I filled it out for like up until I did the Keith Chegwin work experience. So it was like second year of uni, I guess.
2020.
That's when I first got an iPhone.
2010.
I was still in my old home, like on a summer holiday break, and I started like, I woke up today feeling great, and I've got this cool new iPhone, and like, you can download apps on it, and like, I wonder how many apps I'm gonna get, and like, I've obviously noticed that these are quite expensive. Like, how many am I gonna buy? And it was, you could see the downfall of like, I'm on Twitter every day, and this was like 2010.
The beginning.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
It's kind of nice you've got that,
Yeah.
that perspective, though.
Yeah.
I do like that. Like you're able to look back and see a completely different perspective of how you saw something. That's really
you
valuable.
say that. I have photos which are from my first iPhone, which was, I believe, iPhone 4, still on my phone now. As in, like, I've just not deleted. I've just not gone through them. Obviously, some I've deleted. Just sure, clearing space. But like, that's probably in essence a form of diary, right? So
yeah, definitely.
There, but I've not really deleted any of that stuff. So I do have a nondescript diary there of like my dogs and stuff. But did you write much? How long were you writing for?
Long time. I was pissed off at the family and the dogs, looking after the dogs all the time. Like, God, they keep shitting in the house. Trying to motivate myself to finish the video we did. We were working on a documentary at the time. Was it
the Hag syndrome, or was this because this is the second year, right?
The Facebook one, which I don't know if I want to name.
Oh yeah. The Facebook.
I was working on the VFX of that, like going through the monitor and stuff. And I was like, oh, I achieved that for the first time, but it's really hard working out a new piece of software, which I don't really understand.
That was actually a fun project.
I
mean, it was dumb.
We were doing,
I'm surprised we had the motivation to do it, because we couldn't get the we had to get the gear in summer, right? Because everyone else was using it.
We were doing it all remotely as well, the edit stuff. You were doing sound effects at the time, turns out, and I was doing the VFX for it. So that was interesting. And then I went on the work experience, and then it just like fell apart because I was doing like 14-hour shifts. And I was like,
didn't you break down on the way to driving there one day or something like that?
With an actor in the car. Yeah. So
by breakdown, you mean the car breakdown,
sorry, mate.
not just an emotional breakdown. Your car just stopped.
I had a shitty old red Polo, which was my granddad's, because my other car broke as well. And I used that, and I was the runner, so I had to get the actors from the train or the hotel some days. And I was picking up like the main cast on some days. Like,
imagine being picked up at a piece of shit like that. You'd be like, "Oh, this isn't a high budget production."
They were in this film, so they should have expected that kind of. So Susanna Fielding, who was in Doctor Who, was one of the ones I picked up early in the morning, heading into a really busy roundabout in London. And my car just cuts out, and I just start drifting into the roundabout. I'm just trying to like steer the car around the roundabout, trying to restart it. It has an old manual clutch choke, so I had to like pulling that thing in and out. Just
definitely
like
trying to flood the engine with fuel.
Trying to flood the engine. I was like stalling on the roundabout, and I managed to get it going again and play it off. Very cool. It's like, sorry about that. That was We've got a really shitty old car, and she was just laughing about it. So that was probably a good start to a work day.
Similar story.
Yeah.
But involving not cast, but like cameramen.
Nice.
But driving through Central, and so at the time my car was a bit fucked as well. Like not similar to yours, but like basically it wouldn't hold the revs because of like a sensor. So I had to like just gently push the accelerator slightly so it wouldn't die in traffic if I had to stop, which was the worst. It
wasn't idling.
No, it wasn't idling properly. There was there was a lambda sensor or something that was fucked, and I had to drive through Central London, which was horrible at the time because it was, what year was it? I was so when I did the work experience for the royal wedding. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So I was driving a couple of camera dudes who were just like cramped in the back of my it was a 318, a BMW 318, and the back it's only a 2-door, so the back there's not much space, and they had all these camera gears in the front, and these guys were pretty big as well, and they'd just come back from Iraq, I think, because they all had like these big burly beards, and they said that's the best way to kind of I don't know, be subtle in a country like that. So they were like, we don't normally look like this. They kept telling me. I was like, okay, sure, but in the middle of like London, I'm just like constantly losing revs. I'm like, it's just part of the car. It's just, I could figure it out. If I rev hard enough, it'll be fine. But yeah, fuck me. I was like panicking constantly because I'd never driven through Central London before.
God.
I think this was second year. This was probably similar time when you were doing your Kill Keith. Because I think it was, in fact, same summer.
Yeah, we all had to do work experience at the same time. So Yeah.
Did you get paid for yours?
No. I had milk thrown on me.
40 quid.
40 quid?
Yeah.
For how long?
It was 2 weeks.
40 quid for 2 weeks work?
Yeah.
You may as well have torn it up in front of their faces. Like, that is a joke.
How do they justify the 40 quid?
I don't know, because they paid other people who were also in our course like 100 and something. And I was like, why did you not?
Even then,
and I think they were annoyed because I think I was asking for fuel money because they asked me, I was ferrying around their cameramen, and I was like, well, I just need a bit of fuel money just to cover the costs.
Yeah.
And so they just didn't pay me as much as everyone else, and I was like, oh shit, okay, cool.
They literally
I technically did more. I was going around like taking them around through central London to get these camera shots and stuff. And but it was a fun experience. Apart from that last bit, because I confronted the guy about it. He was just like, "Yeah, sorry, it's just the way it is. I mean, I don't need to pay you anything." I was like, yeah, I guess not. I mean, I signed up for it, but that's work experience for you. You never know.
Slaves.
Yeah,
that's literally the industry.
It was fun.
Is backed on work experience university students.
Yeah.
The whole thing runs on us making teas and picking up crew and doing all the manual labor that the people that have risen above that and now shouts at those people, they work for them.
There's zero power in that situation. If you go, well, you've lost me, then I'm going to go somewhere else. Okay, we'll replace you in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
that's
there's
just the
billions of other students
of the industry. There's, it's the same in many industries where it's just like, if you're literally, you don't have any say, basically. Mm-hmm. So, very disheartening, but oh well.
Just had a quick Google of Susanna Fielding, and
nice, okay.
You've heard her in Forza Horizon 2, 3, 4, and 5 as the DJ voice of the in-game radio. So there you go.
We don't have that on.
And you've seen her in that Alan Partridge show where they do a one-show.
She is in that for 12 episodes.
She's the co-presenter. Yeah.
That this time with Alan Partridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also in Black Mirror as Carol.
She was in Kill Keith.
What's her name?
Susanna Fielding.
Thank you.
She's also in The Cockfields, which is a lesser-known sitcom. A bit like The Royal Family. Wouldn't recommend it, to be honest.
It's a bit miserable.
Had I not had incredible skill to steer my car out of this extremely dangerous situation, she would not have made any of that stuff.
Wow. I mean, she's doing well now, eh?
Yeah, I recognize her. Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff.
But you got to start somewhere. Kill Keith.
Kill Keith.
Beginning. It's where you could have been. You could have been sat next to Alan Partridge.
I could have been there, but instead.
I mean, in that Alan Partridge thing, I mean, I know Alan Partridge's stuff is very successful, but she's definitely in that like British TV groove of like, like you say, like the Royal Family used to be and stuff like that. That's sort of like shot on digital and it looks shit and we don't care kind of groove.
Well, I mean, like you said, she was in a Black Mirror, but of course, again, there's a lot of famous British actors and stuff in those as well. So.
And sometimes they can look terrible too. I really find the Black Mirror it's a real roll of the dice as to like the style.
My favorite one is the one they filmed in Iceland. That was so good.
What's the plot?
It's at the beginning. They hit a cyclist.
Right.
They kill a cyclist after like a night out.
Yeah.
And then they cover up the murder, and then the woman becomes really successful.
Oh yeah,
and he comes back feeling guilty, and then I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's really well shot, like amazing drone shots. Like there's a lot of Black Mirror, which is just
Iceland as
really
well.
Shot. But...
looks incredible.
Well, we're at the halfway point of Hat Chat, so we'll now take a brief ad break. Obviously, patrons and other people will not get one, so see you in a second. That's right, We're back. Welcome. That was almost perfectly on 24 minutes, but it wasn't quite. So there you go.
I know, yeah.
Welcome back. How about I give some hypotheticals in the form of would you rathers at you?
Sure. Yeah.
Smith,
would you rather?
As long as they're good, would you rathers?
I'm wondering what he's going to get. All from you, have you got a list of stuff?
I've got the Patreon chosen ones. Thank you, Patreon.
Okay, what have our fine
the top
patrons chosen?
Is would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
Lose the ability to lie. Definitely.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
I think so.
Do you need to lie that hard in order to believe everything you're told? That's terrifying. That's quite an easy one.
Yeah.
Ross, unless you have a counter.
I was going to say, it brings into that whole discussion. I don't know if we had it on a hat chat or probably a Twitch stream at some point about the Ricky Gervais film. Was it where
the invention of lying? Yeah.
And how some stuff just doesn't need to be said, but then some people argue that they're telling the truth just by being blunt and honest, and not having any emotions about it. But yeah, I would definitely rather not believe everything. So yeah, that's also my decision.
Aliens are real, Ross.
What?
The government.
No way. Where are they? Are we aliens? We're aliens.
All right, this one then. You ready? Would you rather lose all of your money you've earned this year, or lose all the memories you've gained this year?
I feel memories I've gained
this year. Well, we've only earned 2 months worth of money, and we've only earned 2 months worth of memories. I mean, you'd have to say money, because wiping your memory just feels like such a counterintuitive thing.
Part of me feels like I've already forgotten though, so maybe I should have the money.
That's true. I can easily wipe my own memory.
Do you know what? We're in an advantageous position where we've actually filmed a lot of the things that are probably quite memorable. So I'm going to take the money.
He's taking the money.
I'll go back and watch the videos. I thought, look, there's actually a lot of, especially with the schlogs recently, we've actually kind of
wipe my brain.
A visual diary. Take it away, and then
I don't need to know the details.
Crucial stuff gone, but it's been it's January, February,
They are shit months. Normally, this month has been these few months have been pretty good, but like normally of the year, it's like fucking January. Like it's
I feel like we could pick up where we left off if we lost our memories. Like we got enough people around us to be like, do you remember that you got that appointment coming up, and also you're on antibiotics right now. You should really keep taking those tablets.
Just this year, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Just this year. So we kind of tricked it a little bit. If I'd done that in December last year, would that be a different story?
I think so.
The whole year.
At the moment as well, it's more tempting because I think things just still happen to you. I don't want to lose my memories. No, take the money. Fuck it. I mean, obviously, it might put me in some pretty difficult positions, but not as difficult as not remembering. Well, yeah, I mean, I know there are these supposed upsides to it, but think about all the other non-entertainment based downsides of losing your fucking memory.
There's probably a few things we're literally forgetting that would be quite important.
Of course.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, if anything, that backs up the fact that you should just go for it. You've already forgotten.
Let's find out. Let's find out what I've forgotten by wiping it all. Okay. So there's that one. All right. If you don't like those two, this one will be really thought-provoking. You ready?
All right. Okay. Ooh, I'm ready.
Would you rather eat a stranger's toenail clippings once a week, or have everything smell like rotten eggs?
Toe clippings.
It's the toenail clippings. The smell,
you'd have to get into a routine of fucking hell, it's Monday. I have to eat toenail clippings.
If everything smells of rotten eggs.
Everything. I mean, I'd choose that in a blink, in a heartbeat. I'd eat the toenails. I mean, if you just want me to say, I'd eat toenails.
Can I blend them up and put them in a shake or something? It'll become like a medicine, because it's the medicine for the rotten egg smell.
Yeah.
And so I'm
the rotten egg smell will start coming back if you miss a week.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah. You have to eat the toenails.
Do you get sent a picture of the stranger? Is it going to be a really off-putting
There'll be a little picture, on cigarettes where they show you the consequences of your actions. The same thing, but the worst image of that person possible. Their toenails.
This would be an excellent curse for a role-playing game where you're everything smells like rotten eggs unless you find somebody to give you their toenails each week. And so each week
you have to clip them off too.
You go into the inn to find somebody who's
they haven't got extra long nails that need clip. You could just do the pedicure business. That'd be an easy way to do it.
You could. Maybe that's what
I'd hate to do that. I hate feet so much.
Keeps you young. You hate feet.
Toenails and ugh. It's all just gross, and I'd have to be
I'd give you the extra stinky ones as well, Trot. I'll give you the ones that really have a hum to them because they're degrading. Delicious.
There'll be a week or two where I'm just I can't do it this week. Just give me the rotten egg smell.
Well, exactly, and you'd endure it for a while until you're right, grind
I'll
up
eat the toenail.
Yeah, just grind them down and put them in a glass of water. That's a good suggestion.
No, they have to be eaten whole. They have to be swallowed whole like a tablet.
Oh, God. Well, I'm gonna have a miserable day once a week. That's for bloody sure. I'm gonna have
it's stuck in my throat like a fishbone.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. Oh, here comes the big toenail. This is my least favorite of the bunch. It's stuck right in my throat. I can feel it. I'm just trying to clear it.
When did they last clip their toenails? It's been years.
But I do hate the smell of rotten eggs. Like, as a kid, I never used to like eggs, and apparently my mum used to get rashes every time she ate them. So there's a good chance I'm probably a little bit allergic to them. But I like them now. And yeah, no, I used to really hate the smell of eggs. I still do hate the smell of like a hard-boiled egg, like that stinky egg smell.
Nice.
I don't remember the last time I smelled rotten eggs though. Other than the actual synthetic rotten egg smell, like from I don't know, like
those jelly beans.
Style, or
those
like
jelly beans.
Yeah, maybe.
We've eaten it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sulfurous. Sulfurous smell is the smell, isn't it? Really.
But it'd be horrible. It'd be a horrible experience.
But you're going to be doing it. Yeah, you're going to be.
Going to happen. That's next week's challenge.
Yeah.
We'll be eating strangers.
Birthday challenges.
Where we source them is entirely up to us. Yeah. Toenail munches.
Look forward to your birthday video coming up. You're going to get cursed.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat toenails.
Would you like animal hoofs, perchance? I've got a few of them. They smell horrible. Those are so... Like, Murphy will just chomp into those bad boys. And when it gets more wet and, like, soggy, the smell.
Do you imagine what
disgusting.
demon gooch smells like?
What
is
demon
it quite
gooch?
A musky smell?
Well, no, it's like when you drive past like a farm.
Yeah, that's that kind of like strong smell.
Chicken farm as well.
Like, kind of farmyard smell. That's what comes out of the hooves. That's in there.
Right.
He loves it.
Why is it so tangy? Oh God, really, chicken
horrible.
Farms.
The smell thing
chicken
is
farms
really
are the worst smelling.
I
think it goes chicken farm, pig farm, cow farm in terms of smell, worst to best. Like, but even on a cow, like a dairy farm, like my friend used to have one, still does, and it is a pervasive smell. That like you say, that smell that comes out of whether it comes out of the hooves or whatever. But yeah, it really just does get in everything as well. Like, yeah. But the chicken farms are the worst. When you drive past a chicken farm,
you don't even need to drive past it. It can be in like a mile radius, and you'll smell it. It's disgusting. It's so gross. Anyway,
such a grim
country.
Smell. I don't think it is. I think it's mainly the battery farms that smell that bad. Like I'd say that's not because cow pats and cow shit.
Yeah,
it's not nice, but it's tolerable.
It's out. It's open in the field. Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken shit is something about it in high concentrations really makes me sad. Inside.
And they're all just walking in it and stuff in their little cages. Poor bastards.
There was a story in America that came out last week about them feeding bits of plastic to pigs. They just mix it in with their food.
Yeah.
So they've just been consuming plastic, and then again, obviously, when they get slaughtered, they're then feeding that back to people. And
so we're concentrating.
I don't know if that's our food or whether it's just an American thing, but I mean, who knows?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But that's shocking,
I thought I told you guys about this at the warehouse.
You might have.
Yeah.
I literally saw a video about it
the other day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where this guy's like inside a waste processing plant, and they're like, see all this shit. This gets turned into hog feed.
Yeah.
And look what's going into the hog feed, and it's all like plastic bags and stuff.
It's rough.
God damn.
Because you can feed that to pigs. I hope that isn't the case in the UK, but you've got to at least expect it to be happening somewhere.
Yeah. Probably.
Don't eat pigs, guys. Cut them out. Cut red meat out of your diet for only like once a week.
Well, yeah, just cut it down.
It's just a great thing to do for you and for the animals and for the environment.
Do it for the pigs.
Do it for the piggies. Just have one. Go to a petting farm.
My bacon's ready. So
also, bacon and any kind of processed pork or red meat is like classed as like a class one carcinogen up there with like asbestos and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really not great.
Nitrogen or something, or something.
Yeah, nitrates is one of them. Yeah, but it's preservatives, but not just that.
Kind
like,
of meat?
Pretty much anything that's pork or beef, or like specifically like charcuterie, like preserved sausages and things like that, are terrible for you. Like, there's a lot of reasons not to.
Why do they taste so good though?
Just because it's nice, I suppose.
Good plastic,
asbestos doesn't taste nice.
But yeah, what we'll do, we'll go to in the spring or whenever the new piggies are getting born. We'll go up to that petting zoo that I went up to. That made me decide to. You can just go in the pen with all the little piglets, and they'll like come over to you. And if you start rubbing their belly, they'll just roll over and let you do it. And it's just, it's just like I should stop eating you guys. Why? Is it worth it?
What if I took one home and then slaughtered it later? Would you be happy with that?
I'd be more happy if you'd shot a wild boar, of which there are thousands.
I'll take one of the fresh.
He prefers the piggy meat.
He wants a little.
But I'll live with it first. Let Murph introduce himself. They can hang out for a few years, and then
he's
big, and it's like, wow, this is actually uncontrollably big.
Ross, you keep salivating around the pig. Why is?
He's big now. He's actually just too big for the house. I really shouldn't have brought him in the first place. No, I wouldn't like the idea of slaughtering an animal at all.
That you've grown with, like you raised them in your home.
Yeah, and then
as a pet.
In fact, they even have the hoofs is disgusting enough. It's like an abattoir where he just munches them. But he loved them so much, and it keeps him occupied that it's kind of worth it. But I'm just glad that there's, it's not gone to complete waste.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a diverse diet. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat meat. What I'm saying is there are specific meat choices that are far better for you than other meat choices, and it doesn't take
red meat can be, like you shouldn't have too much anyway because it can fuck your arteries up.
There's also there's many reasons. Like that's the thing. Yeah, personal health is one. Another reason is obviously environmental impact. Like there's lots of reasons. Like, I don't know. I think that switching to less meat is a great idea for you and for everybody else if you can do it. Anyway, I don't know why I got into that. I don't feel particularly strongly about that, but it is, it's not a particularly complicated thing to grasp. What?
Are there any more would you rather's there or
no?
How many did you have there? That was it. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That's fine.
There's billions out there, but I feel like that's enough. I feel like we got space for some funny news.
Yeah, definitely. There are some funny news stories. One which was sent to us in several forms. One being on Reddit, and I think we were emailed it as well. Was about a teacher who laced school children's cupcakes with her husband's sperm, which is horrible. It's not a funny one. Oh God!
Wait, hold on. Whoa! Look at that freeze. That was such a good one.
It's disgusting. But everyone's like, "Oh, Rebecca's all grown up." Remember Rebecca from the first Hat Chat podcast?
Yep.
It's horrible when it's real, isn't it?
Yeah, because obviously that was just a joke. That was a big joke. But this is real. I think she was charged. Let's see what it says. It says a school teacher in the US has admitted. Worse. Oh, does it really? She's admitted to lacing the cupcakes with her husband's sperm before feeding them to her pupils. I feel like we've heard this story before as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
At least another feeding of laced products was. Have we heard this before? I don't know.
I don't know.
I know I shouldn't be in charge of this segment. I apologize.
No,
this was sent to us by our fans, though. So
you're in charge of it. Anything, the people that sent it in.
That's it, exactly.
That's on you.
Let me skim over this for the worst bits. So, she now faces more than 4 decades behind bars for a range of horrific crimes. Jesus.
For a range of crimes. She's just a straight-up psychopath.
Yeah, she's done horrible stuff. She's done really horrible stuff.
And we don't need to go into the nitty-gritty, but that was raised to us. If you really wanted to read up on it, feel free. It just gets really perverse.
Well, I think I saw the article before, and I saw that one kid had died because they had a nut allergy.
Fuck's sake.
Christ. Yeah. There are other stories. Let's see. Fucking hell. No. What's this one? This was fairly lightweight in comparison. London posties stagger around after accidentally eating a load of hash brownies.
Sorry, London who? Postman?
Yeah, Royal Mail have launched an investigation into a video that showed postmen staggering in the street after accidentally, is obviously in quotes there, eating brownies laced with cannabis. The workers said to have mistaken the edibles in a Pablo Chocobar box for innocent treats were filmed walking unsteadily and needing help on their rounds in Clapham, South London. How is that happening? So they're just wandering around. Someone's just following them with a camera.
Look at the image of this guy.
What have you had, mate? What have you had?
Where the hell are they getting Pablo Choco bars from? What? I'm just fucking baked.
Just say it like a hash brown. What of it?
I thought it was just chocolate. I mean, that is dangerous. If if a brownie's laying out, just don't eat it. All right. I know that's tempting. Look, there's a brownie. I really wanted the brownie.
I've just Googled Pablo Choco bars, and I mean, that's a high quality edible. Like, where the fuck did they get that from? He ate 4.
Did he eat 4 of them? Oh my God.
Jesus, that's not a nice time. That's full panic attack territory. 4 edibles. Because one edible
you
is usually...
even be thinking about your job at that time. You would be just longing out.
You'd be desperately trying to hold on to reality. How can you stay like hold on to the floor when you've had 4?
He's still trying to post stuff.
So they're complete newbie to weed, and they've had 4 Pablo Choco. I mean, also, have they broken into somebody's like delivery and eating it or some shit?
Maybe. There's which is, if anything, a higher crime. That's a bigger crime.
Well, it certainly was. High crimes indeed, Ross.
Certainly was.
But yeah, Dank Bakery UK. I mean,
it's a legal product, so you can actually buy this in the UK. I didn't think you could buy edibles.
It surprises me every day what you can get in the UK weed market, Ross.
I've seen CBD adverts now.
Yeah. No, I mean like illegally, but like the stuff that makes it to our shores is surprising.
What's this
like
washed
in its,
up here?
Diversity. Yeah, especially when you see like when the Silk Road and stuff was in full operation, and I'm sure there's versions of the Silk Road still out there. Like stuff people were getting was blowing my mind. Like it was probably just after. Probably we were too busy starting up YouTube shit to pay attention to it. But I think if we were at uni for a couple more years, that was when people in their 20s started buying good drugs off of the internet, using the Silk Road. Like, because like shit was just getting posted to people. Like, there's a couple of really good documentaries about it.
They're less likely to be opened.
Yeah, and Shiny Flakes is a really good example. And there's a really good documentary about Shiny Flakes, which was this guy. I can't remember quite where he was from. Was he German? But it was like a 16-year-old kid.
Netflix about him.
Yeah, that was operating he was German. 16-year-old kid that was operating this like multi-million-pound drug business from the bedroom that he shared with his like in an apartment with his mum. His mum never knew what was going on. He never withdrew any of the money. He just used it as in crypto to buy and sell the drugs. So he was just like kind of building this drug empire, but without cashing any of it out. So it was very hard to work out how he was doing it. But how he was doing it is he was literally just using Amazon drop boxes. So he would use a fake account or whatever, buy like some postage. You just take it to a Dropbox, put it in there anonymously. Then it just gets routed to another Dropbox where the end user picks it up. And he would post like, huge rocks of drugs, like massive amounts of, not massive amounts, but like enough to put you in prison in the UK for 15 years. But like, yeah, it's surprising, but it's interesting to hear this post he's done that. And I kind of feel for them a bit. I kind of don't. I don't know how they acquired it. I mean, they clearly acquired it nefariously if they didn't know not to eat 4 whole edibles at once. That's somebody who likes chocolate, not somebody who's looking to get blazed, So, I mean,
but there was a story.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Recently, about a guy who was bringing in like shit tons of heroin, and he did it by putting it into his fuel tank or reservoir or something, like through his back seat. And the only reason they investigated him because they could smell fuel because he didn't seal it properly. And so they pull out this fucking chain of like these blocks in this like ramp. And yeah, that was his. He got fucked for that. A lot of shit.
I actually watched a really interesting like interview with a guy called it was called How Cocaine Trafficking Actually Works, and it was an interview with a guy called Peter Tritton, or Posh Pete as he was known.
Nice.
And it's on the channel Insider on YouTube, and it's really interesting. It's like a 15-minute thing he's talking about the stages of like cocaine production and how cocaine gets to you. But this guy spent like 12 years in an Ecuadorian prison, and he literally has the same mannerisms and personality as Sam, like Dead Nut Sam. Oh, like, so he's really chill, really like
never expect him to
exactly very difficult to read, and that's kind of what made him successful, I think, is he was very like reserved and stuff. But he said the best way they ever worked out of transporting cocaine was they were dissolving the cocaine into latex, then lining the bottom of tents with said latex. And then on the other, and then they would give the tent to a person they'd paid, like a tourist who was over in the south, saying, "Hey, can you take this tent back for us? We'll give you 10 grand." It got back to the UK, where they unload the tent, and then they post the tent off to somebody, and then they use a chemical process to extract the latex from the rubber base of these tents, and that would leave them with about 5 kilograms of cocaine, which is worth like tens of thousands in a tent. And he said that they could counter every single test or detection system that they had, so it wouldn't pick up on visual scans because it looks like it's a tent. The latex would put the dogs off. Latex would put the dogs off, and then they used one final chemical they added to the mix that would stop this blotter test that they would use on surfaces to see if it was cocaine. And he was just like, "Yeah, we just did that."
That's amazing. That's incredible. The lengths to go through. Because I know that obviously they store it inside things as well. Like inside tennis balls, where you wouldn't expect anything to be in them. And stuff. Like just a big box of them, and it's just like, well, shit. Like,
loads of tennis balls.
Tennis balls.
The lengths people will go to for money and drugs.
But the thing is, right, the most important bit on both ends is the lab, is the chemist. Like this is it. So like if you're a good, exactly. He said because that's what the cartels control. They control the labs, and then there's farmers that do all the actual farming of the coca that's required, the leaves that's required to make the cocaine. It's farmers, and they get paid like 1% of the final value of the product. The people that actually grow it.
Didn't Gordon Ramsay do a documentary where he was like watching them make it? I'm not sure if it was Gordon. It feels like I think it was Gordon Ramsay.
There's definitely some. I mean, it could have been Ross Kemp.
It could have been. Actually, it might have been Ross Kemp. Actually, I don't know why I'm conflating the two. But
Jason Fox,
one of them went over
there. Who's one of the guys from the SAS Who Dares Wins? He did like a with the drug lords.
Yeah, it was just like a really like weird process of like pouring in certain fuels and then mixing it in a big barrel, and it's all looks very like dirty and this horrible farm and
it's pretty gross.
Very weird process involved. But
this same video goes on. He's saying like the things that are really valuable in places like Peru and Colombia are the reagents for washing the coca leaves to extract it, which is what you're talking about there. So they used to use something called ether, which was back when coke got huge in the 80s and 90s. Ether was like the way that they washed the cocaine out of the leaf. Essentially, it's like what do you want to call it? There's like a fixing solution or something. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a certain name for it to take things out of. I don't know whether it breaks down the cellulose. A solvent. It breaks down the cellulite of the plant or some shit. I don't know. But he said that they made that really difficult to get in South America. Like it's super controlled. He said they had to use worse chemicals now in the 2000s onwards because the ones that made the really good cocaine have been outlawed. So he's saying they're actually worse coke is being made now because of the chemicals they're having to use, the solvents they're having to use. So yeah, I think very interesting.
Very interesting.
That was a fun video.
Of course, we have to stipulate this with we do not endorse illegal drug use. It's only interesting.
Smuggling. You will get fucked if you get caught smuggling drugs.
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ.
God.
Not worth it.
Yeah, this guy is like, he's saying like, yeah, you'll end up in prison or you'll end up dead for smuggling cocaine. He's like, that's the way it'll eventually end. But anyway, of course, like those crazy things.
Then, to end, quite the you can't have dinner with this hat chat. I don't think. Think so. There's some gross moments. The Rebecca thing and the toenail thing and the
rotten eggs situation.
So now,
but then you're saying that at the end, so it's too late. If you've already had your dinner, sorry.
Well, if you've been putting it off, now you can get tucked in as we come to a close, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you again to our Patreons for supporting us every week, and hopefully the votes are worthwhile to you. I don't know, and the ad-free versions that Ross posts up there, that's always good.
Yeah.
And if you have a cool fingal like Zach, hat-films.com. Please send them in. Much appreciated. Thank you. Could do with some more. Thank you. All right, and we'll catch you all next week. Hopefully back on a Friday again. Regular time. This should be released normal time anyway on Saturday. So, all right then, we'll leave it there. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.